What's going on, family? What's going on? Black Feniks checking in. Right now, I am outside of the Container Cafe working on some modifications. So, wanted to give y'all a small update. I'm working on the staircases right now. I got a little welding to do for my bar support. Waiting on a gentleman that hopes to be here soon to help me set it. Um, so, I'm working on it. I'm actually making ways, as you build certain things and you fabricate certain modifications on these containers, you come up with better ways to do things all the time and easier ways. So I think when you're dealing with like staircases and rails, different attachments that you want on and off of there, it's better to actually be hands-on with it and kind of find your system and tweak it, and then that way you can always write it down and make it rule of thumb for you. Because when you're doing these, there's no such thing as the only rule of thumb is the structural engineering part of it to make sure everything goes back structurally sound. But as far as how you want to do it, there's no limitations. You can actually do what you want to do, so you don't have to go by any set rule or guideline. A welder and fabricator and installer, you can actually set your own tone and speed and rules of certain things that you want to be done. So you don't have to go by a booklet, so to speak. You just need a guideline, and then you can make everything up as you go, as you work on it. So I'm gonna jump in here just for a second. I need to finish welding the inside, so I'm just out here today, as you see. Um, and just for the record, I had someone ask me about having an older machine like the 135 versus the older Miller that's 135. My personal opinion, I like Miller and Lincoln, but in that older unit, that older 135 unit, the Lincoln actually burns hotter, and to me, it's easier to mess with. The Miller, it doesn't burn as hot. It only gets up to like 3/16, getting like 5/16 out of the Lincoln welder. So if you're looking for an older unit to do some modifications with, I would pick the older version of the Lincoln if you can't afford a new one or a new Miller. Like the newer Millers, the new 220s, they good, and they even dial down to actually you can do 110 or 120 and 220 with those. So actually the new Miller is it's my goal to get one. It's the multi-processor. It's bad because you can do aluminum, stainless, steel. You can multi-set it. You can wire well. You can stick well. You can TIG well. So to me, it's a good multi-processor for a person that does different settings. So unless you're doing one specific thing, that multi-processor is great. But as for a cheap scale to get started, you should be able to find you a good Lincoln 135 or 140, because I think both of them are well at least 5/16. Um, Probably around the price of 300 to $400, $450, maybe 500 at the most. Depends on the condition of the units. Another good thing about these Lincolns that I like, all the parts and necessities and stuff you have to do. I didn't put another cord on this one, and actually I'm about to get ready to order another cord to the end. It's a flexible, so you can kind of tilt it and get it in the spot. And for field welding, that flexible end on that MIG is a plus, a big plus. So that's something to think about, to have that flexible end on that MIG gun, because now on Amazon, I want to say it's probably under $60. I know it's under $100. You can buy the 10-foot, and I don't think it come in 15 feet, but if it does, get the 15-foot one. I think it only come in 10, but they got the flexible nozzle for the older units and the newer ones, but they got the flexible nozzle on it where you can actually tilt it to get in fine spots, and that's what on them older units. So, you know, like I say, when you're doing this, actually you can get started very cost efficient. I did a video the other day kind of giving you the breakdown on how much it costs to actually flip a 40 and cutting it in half and turning it into 220-foot container units. But getting started, you could actually start off used. I would say, literally, in my personal opinion, just as far as equipment that you need, you can start off for about $1,000. You can get you a good unit. You need a welder that can at least weld 5/16, because you know if you clean it and you bevel it and put a couple multi-passes, it'll be okay. So some of them you're gonna be beating up anyway. So starting off with a used unit, grinder, cutting torch, some framer. You don't even need a cutting torch. You just need a grinder, a welder, your hood, some cutting blades, tape measures, some rulers, you know, some tri-squares or framing squares to, you know, get all your measurements keyed in, and actually your skill set. Because with these, it's really easy. Like it's your skill set that is going to be the real impressive part. The tools that you're actually using, you know, you can actually use your bare minimum. Like literally your bare minimum. You catch me out here with a big grinder and a small grinder, the welder. I use the drill, you know, drilling holes, impacts, you know, stuff like that. But as far as tools, you don't have to go all out. So don't think that you can actually start a container storage flip to actually make small storage flips pretty much cost efficient. It's not that bad. The only biggest thing on them is just going to be getting your first container. Getting your first container, cutting it in half, and then you're going to pretty much go from there. Once you do that first one, man, it's going to really rock. And you'll start seeing, because I just moved here, but I've been getting a lot of calls. But around here, I see that people are called and require a lot, but they don't move real fast as far as making things happen. So it might take a while. Certain ones that call me say, hey, man, I want this conversion done, this done, but they don't really move fast. So I just have to go with their own speed and just do what I can do. You know what I mean? But let me grab this. I want to pay this. Lock the door. Like I really enjoy what I'm doing. touch up, and honestly, man, I always say, go with this Rust-Oleum, most definitely. Check in. Good rising, good rising, good rising. What's up with the family? Good rising, everybody. Hope everybody doing good. Want to check in. Like I said, I'm out here doing a couple things, trying to get a few things done. Trying to do what I can. I'm gonna open up my door for a second. Let y'all check out my roll-up door. I mean my flag patio door. Oh, it's pretty smooth, huh? Very smooth. And right now, it's kind of on the angle, so I can push it in. It's pretty neat though, man. Still got some stuff to do, you know. But on the cool though, I think it looks pretty good from what I have done up to this point. Anyway. Put my lights up. Had to cock them. So I have to come back and do a little touch up. That's a cool thing too because it's real easy to do your touch up. See something where you kind of messed in the spot. This is a good thing too. See a little thin spot. Very. But you know, when you're doing certain things, you gotta fall back and do certain stuff. Actually, this stuff is easy. Falling back, making sure it's a little bit. I wouldn't make it real complicated. I done been with people that made a project too complicated. another thing, when you're doing these and you're doing your prep work to paint it, personally, don't go all the way out. Just get, I would say, get a round raw brush wheel to kind of scruff it up some, especially the spots where you see a little rust or something. Knock that off. But that primer that they got on there is pretty good. So if it don't have no bad spots, I just take it and just, you know, rub that raw brush around it to get it to stick good. But you ain't gonna have any issues. I just knock off the areas where you see rust build up. But as far as going all the way out trying to get it perfect, I wouldn't even do that unless you know, once you buy a brand new unit, you don't have to do none of that. It'll come freshly painted, whatever. So if you're going to get into buying the brand new units, for those who want the brand new units, then it'll be very easy to deal with because they pretty much got them, you know, solid. So, but if you're doing with the used units, I wouldn't go all the way out and waste a lot of time on that because it's just a waste of time. You know, certain stuff, it don't really matter, you know what I mean? So I just focus on the things that you know you need to take care of. That's make line out with right. But remember, you don't have to go all the way out. Just do what you need to get started. Literally just going through see a couple things. Looks pretty solid. Like I said, the two things. Ain't really nothing major. Take out a couple things that might need to be. other thing, you can get you a little part like this, and I literally got some new wheels on this one from Lowe's, some non-flat wheels, and just kind of fabricated me a little part to hold the welder, to brace it around when I'm moving it around to do certain jobs, and it's a plus, because you can literally put it on there. I got a little plate and a chain where I connect it to, but it makes it real easy. So making you a little rig setup like this, you know, finding you, I actually got the dolly, I believe, off of Craigslist for like $15 or something, you know what I mean? That's a good dolly. And I just kind of welded a couple things on it. And as you see in the middle of it, I got this done a while back. I don't know if you can see it. But right here, a guy had did these, and it's a container bar. So this is like my container bar fabrication kit, so to speak, you know. Appreciate that love. You get to see the famous tour. Most definitely. Yeah, I'm trying to get everything lined out. Thanks. I appreciate the love. Appreciate it, man. Keep doing what you're doing, bro. I mean, literally, like, there's nothing you can do. So if you're not setting any limitations on yourself, you're going to. So I wouldn't set any limitations, and I just go out of it, man. But like I say, man, everything is coming along. Wanted to give you a little update. Like I say, man, I'm still working on a few things, but hey, it's a work in progress. But everything is going like it needs to, you know? Most definitely, I really enjoy this unit. I even keep my pliers. Most of everything that you need in your unit, get down on this one so you can kind of see it a little bit. Everything in that unit I kind of keep in there. A tape measure, I keep my MIG pliers and some extra tips in there. Everything that's on this little unit. And this actually is the field or shop when it comes to dealing with the container modifications. That's pretty much what I use this for. I do miscellaneous stuff with it too. So I'm actually looking to find another MIG welder / flux core welder, so I can have one in the shop and one specifically in the field. So when I'm doing stuff in my garage and in the shop, I don't have to swap them all the time, because I've been doing a lot of that right now. But you know, you got to use what you got getting started. But that small little setup, man, right there is under $500, you know, used. So you can actually get that set up for under $500, and that's not real expensive, because under $500 ain't a whole lot to get your independent started or getting your welding going. So just think use, you know, think use. Don't just go all the way out. Just know that you just got to get started. So I think that's the main thing. Like I say, I got to get a hand to actually set this stuff up. Yeah, I do got these holes. I need a drill. So I'm gonna let y'all go. I tune back in a little later once things get to lining out. So hopefully I have my guy out here to help me set this, and I tune back in. I got some drilling holes to do right now, so there's no reason to keep the video going because that's gonna be kind of boring. I just got like 3 holes to drill, and then I actually gonna have to wait. It's probably gonna be, I got a guy who I know can help me, but he don't get off until 4:30. So we probably fall back this evening and come back out here and set it, due to me already having it pretty much prepared to put in. So I'm gonna drill these few holes that I have, and I'm actually putting 3 8 bolts in it, bolts and nuts. So I use 3 8 bolts, and then I got a landing that is a 3/16 C-channel and 3/16 angle that it hits on it to land on top of it and then bolt in. So that's the concept that I'm going with on this. So like I said, I'm gonna be tuning back in, giving y'all some more updates. But today, just want to let you know what I was doing. Hold on, y'all be blessed.